Hello there. Thank you for arriving on time to your 3 o'clock appointment. My name is Angelica. Nice to meet you. I see that you're interested in enrolling in the U.S. Army. Why? Just kidding. It's a joke. It's something you like to joke around with new recruits, or potential recruits, rather. First and foremost, have you already filed your paperwork away? Excellent. We're going to need a criminal background check just to make sure that you're all clear. We don't want to be enlisting anyone that might be a little bit of a liability into the U.S. Army. We've already got enough of those issues. We don't need ones that basically warned us from the start. Okay. Excellent. I see that your information here is already present. I see that you've already put down your school information, your medical information, your medical history. It seems that allegedly you're all clear, but we're going to be conducting a couple of little blood tests, urine tests. We're going to be doing a whole medical exam just to make sure that you're on point with your records. Perfect. Okay, great. Now what brings you into the U.S. Army? Yeah, you kind of have that sense of nobility, that sense of wanting to fight for your country. Yeah, that's a very operative word, huh? Interesting. Anyways, I'm going to be conducting a couple of little tests on you, but before we begin, I'm going to be taking some measurements of you. I'm going to be taking some measurements of your height real quick, okay? So just stay still for me. Okay, and then of your width. Okay, and I'm just going to be taking the circumference of your head just to kind of measure you out for your hat. Perfect, okay. Excellent. Okay, well, in that case, we're going to start your medical exam. I'm going to be the one to conduct it for you, okay? So we're just going to take a little blood pressure test, okay? I'm going to do this manually, mostly because, why not? So I'm going to be going in and taking a medical blood pressure exam real quick. So I'm gonna need you to just take a deep breath in for me, calm yourself down as best as possible. I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna just kind of register what time it is. That might be okay, and perfect. Okay, yeah, your blood pressure's looking pretty good. I'm just gonna check that off real quick. That's not a concern for us. Sometimes all the times we have to look for it, because sometimes there might be some issues, but honestly, in my experience with young, strapping, handsome young lads, there really isn't any issue when it comes to it. Usually it's more of a middle-aged man issue, and that's why we tend to enlist the young ones. You see, when you see commercials to enlist into the army that feature young men, you know we're going to war. Now we're going to conduct a little vision test, okay? I don't necessarily have my eye chart right now, but I do have my fingers, and I'm just going to be asking you to follow them around real quick. Okay, so I'm going to be lifting up my one finger here. I'm going to need you to look at the top of my finger. Excellent. And I'm just going to need you to follow the tip of my finger around. Don't look at anything else. Just look at the tip of my finger real quick. Look at the tip of my finger to the center, down, to the side, up, to the center, up, to the side, down, to the center, over, then up, over, down, to the side, up. Perfect. Now how many fingers am I holding up? This is kind of like a cognitive test and a vision test in one. How many fingers am I holding up? Excellent. How many fingers am I holding up? Perfect. How many fingers am I holding up? All of them. Thank you. How many fingers am I holding up? Perfect. How many fingers am I holding up? Great. How many fingers am I holding up? Perfect. How many fingers am I holding up? Excellent. Okay, great. Well, it seems like your vision test is doing pretty well, honestly. I don't really see any issues with you right now, but I will be holding up this little time chart just to kind of get a better gauge as to what might be going on or not going on with your eyesight. I assume you know what an analog clock is, or rather, an analog clock is. I believe that's what it's called. Yeah, it's the one with the face. I think that's what it's called, is an analog clock is the one with the face. The digital clock is the one with the numbers itself that tells you what time it is. The analog clock, I think, is the one where you have to know the small hand, little hand, all of that jazz, basic knowledge. So I'm going to ask you, What time is it on this chart? Okay, for 4 o'clock. Excellent. In military time, how do you say 4 o'clock p.m.? Excellent. 28 hours. Okay, perfect. 28 hours, 16 hours p.m. 16 hours, not p.m. Past meridian, it's 16 hours. 18 hours for 6 p.m. And then 10 p.m. would be 22 hours. So it's the most efficient way to tell time. Nonetheless, we've kind of tested your vision enough. It seems to be going pretty well, so I'm just going to drop that down. I'm just going to say did your vision test quite well. I'm just going to put that one down. Okay, excellent. Now we're going to be doing a little bit of a hearing test, okay? I'm going to whisper a couple of words into your ears, and I'm going to ask you to repeat those words back to me. And if you can, then you pass the test. And if you can't, then I'm going to be questioning if you're going to be competent enough to be on the field, okay? So I'm just going to come here. Come here. Zebra, giraffe, lion. What did I say? Excellent. And pink, blue, purple. What did I say? Okay, perfect. Come here. Bed, couch, sofa. What did I say? Okay, great, perfect. Grenade, tank, bullet. Okay, perfect, great. Getting you right into the mindset of what you're about to explore. Next one, Zimbabwe, Madagascar, Congo. Okay, great, excellent, great going. Laos, Mongolia, and Vietnam. Okay, perfect, great. One more. Car, truck, bus. Perfect, okay, great. I'm going to now just jot down the fact that you passed your hearing test. I'm just going to put that one down, okay? I imagine you submitted all of your paperwork and it's being processed right now. Yeah, your school records, your physical records, your medical records, all of your records are being processed right now. I imagine. Hence why you're at this step. Okay, perfect, thank you. I'm just going to jot that one down. Okay, perfect. I'm going to need now a blood sample from you. It's just to check for STDs if you have, for example, AIDS. You can't go into the military, so we're just going to be checking for your blood sample. What's that? Come here closer. What did you say? Oh, it's discriminatory. Good. So I'm just going to be taking your blood sample real quick. Okay, and I'm just going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Send this to the lab so that way they can just check that everything is pretty much nice and clean. So I'm gonna put it down that we did your STD check, and now we're gonna do a urine check. If you wouldn't mind just peeing in this cup real quick. I'll look away. Just go pee in the cup. It tells us if you're clean for any drugs. Drugs. It tells us if you're clean for drugs. We don't want anyone who has drugs in their system, so I'm just gonna need you to tinkle in this cup. What was that? What happens if you do drugs? Well, if you do, then you're basically dishonorably charged from the U.S. military. So I'm going to need you to take a urine sample right now, so that way you could avoid such a fate if that is something that you already have as a habit. Okay? Great. Just go pee in the cup. Thank you. It'll is all we needed. Okay, so now that we've conducted your little drug screen, we're going to check that one off. And we're going to begin with your neurological exam. So I'm going to need you to just stretch out your arms as such. Okay, perfect. I'm just going to feel them out a little bit. Perfect. I'm going to send them back towards you, and I'm going to need you to hold them right there. And now I'm going to be trying to pull your arms away from you, and I need you to keep them as close to yourself as possible. So I'm just going to try to pull this. Okay, perfect. And then I'm going to try to pull this. Okay, perfect. And then I'm going to try to push them back towards you, and I need you to sort of resist my push, okay? So I'm just going to go in and try to push. Okay, didn't work. Okay, and excellent. I'm just going to try to push. Didn't work. Okay, now I'm going to be conducting another little neurological exam. I'm just going to need you to follow my instructions really quickly. Can you please just sort of lift your eyebrows up for me like this? Okay, great. And now drop them down, furrow them. Excellent. Can you bare your teeth for me like this? Okay, great. And can you extend your jaw forward like this? Great. And then to the left. Perfect. To the right. Perfect. Sorry. A little bit of makeup on my tooth. Isn't this why so many things tend to happen? And then I'm going to ask you to just keep your arms out forward as such. I'm going to try to bring one down and then bring the other one down. And I need you to resist that, okay? So I'm just going to try to bring this one down real quick. Let's try that one again. Try to bring this one down. Okay, perfect. I'm going to try to bring this one down. Okay, perfect. Okay. So your neurological exam went pretty fine. I'm going to just check that one off, and now I'm just going to be inspecting your head for a little bit of symmetry. So I'm just going to go in, and I'm just going to inspect your head real quick, just for a little bit of symmetry. I'm just going to palpate your head, okay? Seems like your head is pretty symmetrical. I kind of did a surface level tapping, but we're going to go a little more in depth. So I'm just going to check there, and then I'm just going to check your face real quick, just to kind of see if, okay, just to see if there's any symmetry in your face as well. Everything seems pretty symmetrical, but we're going to be looking a little bit deeper into your face just to make sure that everything is symmetrical when it comes to your facial movements, or when it comes to your reactions, or when it comes to your general capabilities. So we're just going to check this one off, and then I'm going to be checking your hair distribution real quick. So I'm just going to go in and check your hair distribution just to make sure that the texture is all okay, if there's any sort of bald spots, and then what pattern they're emerging, if there are. So I'm just going to go in and just check it real quick. Okay. It seems that things are relatively okay. And now I'm just going to go in with my pen, and I'm going to be checking for any sort of infestations, lesions, or general rashes, anything that might be of concern, that might be a little bit infectious. We don't want that in the military, because then if you were to end up sleeping in the barracks, then you would end up kind of spreading a contagion that might be an issue to the rest of our so I'm just going to be sparting your hair a little bit, just like that. Perfect. And I'm not noticing any infestations. I'm not noticing any odd texture of hair. It seems like everything looks pretty clean. Okay. Now I'm going to be palpating around your head and face for any sort of masses or injuries. So I'm just going to be palpating your head just to make sure that there's nothing that's growing or nothing that has been harmed before. So just excuse me one moment. I'm just going to be palpating your face real quick. And now the back of your head. Okay, very good. Good. Okay, very nice. Perfect. I love it so much. There we go. Okay. You did great on that one. And now I'm going to be massaging your sides for any TMJ that might emerge, and then I'll also be examining your temporal lobes just to make sure that there isn't any arteries that might be a little inflamed or whatnot. So I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to be massaging your TMJ real quick. And there really isn't any present TMJ, but there might start to become TMJ, you might develop it, and we can try to address it as best as we can with our doctors. Anyways, TMJ and temporal lobes. Your arteries, we're going to just see if it's any inflammation right here. Okay. Everything seems to be pretty okay. Palpate, TMJ. And now I'm going to need you to follow my instructions. I'm going to be just trying to assess your symmetry and your facial expressions, okay? So I just need you to make sure that whatever I ask you to do, that you do it to the best of your ability, because otherwise we might be concerned that there's something off. So if you wouldn't mind, please smile for me like this. Just gonna feel the sides of your mouth. Okay, perfect. Okay. And once again, raise your eyebrows. Everything looks pretty good there. I'm going to need you to just say tic-tac-toe, tic-tac-toe, tic-tac-toe. Okay. Very good. Okay. Flare out your nostrils like this. Okay, perfect. Just flare them out. Okay, perfect. I'm just now going to tap underneath your eyes just to see if there's any reflexes. Okay, perfect. And it seems like you're pretty balanced. There is no sign of like a previous stroke or anything like that. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to be doing a little bit more of a general assessment. Nothing too intense. I'm just going to be flashing a light into your eyes, your ears, and your mouth just to double check your health. I'm going to start with your mouth. So I'm going to be putting this little tab inside of your mouth, and I'm going to need you to open up wide for me, please. There's going to be a light coming in just to check your mouth. So I'm going to need you to just open up your mouth for me real quick. Open up, say ah. Ah. Okay. Yep, the color looks pretty good. There seems to be no mass or growth. There seems to be nothing that's kind of bacterial. Let's see, I'm just going to be looking into your teeth now. I'm going to need you to open up wide again. Okay, perfect. I'm just going to look in your teeth. Okay, looks like all your teeth are nicely taken care of. Beautiful. Excellent, honestly. And then I'm going to be looking at the bottom row of your teeth. I'm just going to be looking at each one. Okay, perfect. Back up to your top row, just say ah. Okay, perfect. Excellent. Now I'm going to be checking your gag reflex. I'm going to be poking this all the way back to the back of your throat. Okay, good. Okay, it seems like everything there seems also pretty good. Okay, excellent. Now I'm going to be checking your sense of pupillary reaction. So I'm going to be putting this little tab to the side, and I'm going to need you to look right at my nose. Right at my nose, okay? I'm going to be checking your sight. So I'm going to need you to look straight forward at me. I'm going to be lowering your eyelid. Okay, perfect. Your pupils are dilating and reacting quite well. I'm going to be lifting up your upper eyelid. Okay, perfect. Your pupils are reacting quite well. There's a little bit of veiny qualities to your eyes. Do you happen to drink enough water? You do. You're just constantly stressed. Perfect. You're gonna love the military. So I am now going to be examining the other eye just to see if there's an even quality to your eye. So I'm just going to be checking if there's a pupillary reaction, and there is. I'm going to be lifting up the top eyelid. Okay, perfect. Okay. Your eyes look pretty healthy, just very tired and exhausted, but that doesn't mean that they're not healthy. They're healthy enough for the military. That's all that matters. Okay, perfect. And now I'm going to be examining your ears just to see if there's any buildup or anything more concerning inside of your ears. So if you wouldn't mind, just look to the right for me, please. Okay, so I'm going to be looking into your ears real quick. I'm just going to be lifting it up, okay? I'm just going to be taking a deep look into your ear health, and things look pretty pretty clean up in here. Very nice. Okay. Now, if you wouldn't mind looking to your left, please. Thank you. I'm just going to be double checking your ear hole right here. Okay, good. Perfect. I'm going to be lifting up your ear. Okay, very good. Perfect. Excellent. Okay, perfect. Well, I'm going to be jotting that one down too. Okay, perfect. Okay. Well, we've pretty much assessed your entire general health. I'm going to do one more examination on you, and then we'll be calling it a day for this physical exam, and then you're pretty much ready for the military. I'm going to just check your breathing patterns and heart rates, if you wouldn't mind. Take a deep breath in for me. Okay, and now for the back. Take another deep breath in for me, please. And perfect. Okay, excellent. Well, in that case, you're pretty much all settled and fine. You are doing great, and yeah. Welcome to the U.S. military. Great going. You're in.